Hello, you're welcome to my channel. I am Evangelist Bright Osaga. In this video, I will be teaching you how to see a clear and detailed vision in the spirit. Yes, how to see a clear and detailed vision in the spirit. If you desire to see in the spirit and hear God's voice, then this video is for you. Or you have anything in your mind that is bothering you, that you want God to speak to you or reveal to you about, worry no more, because in this video I will be explaining to you how to see a clear and detailed vision in the spirit. Most persons, they see vision, and the vision most time are blurred. They are not clear to them, so they cannot be able to receive each details because the vision is not clear. But in this video, I will be teaching you how to see in the spirit and receive detailed vision in the spirit. So pay attention to this teaching, because this teaching will help you, and it will help your prophetic calling, will help your spiritual eyes for you to see and also hear God's voice clearly. If this video will also bless your friends, you can share it with them and help them also to know how to see in the spirit and hear the voice of God. Before I continue, if this is your first time coming to my channel, please like this video and follow this page if you want more content like this. You liking this video or commenting to my channel will help this video to go viral on this platform and bless so many lives that are on this platform. And if you desire to receive more content of my video, you can click on the subscribe button in order for you to follow this page to receive more content from me. If you have not subscribed, I'm appealing that you click on the subscribe button now, so that you receive more videos from me anytime I give a post. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and may God bless you abundantly. I am grateful. Now, how do you see a clear and detailed vision in the spirit? If you want to see a clear and detailed vision in the spirit, there are things you need to understand. That if you must see a clear and detailed vision, you must be ready to enter into the realm of the spirit to be able to see this information, or to be able to enter into heavenly realms for God to open your eyes for you to see things that you desire to see or hear from God. Are we together now? Because a man can't eventually see in the spirit if he's in the physical realm. So you can't see in the spirit with your natural senses or with your physical senses if you are not actually ready to unlock your spiritual senses, or to enter into the spiritual realm, or open your spiritual sensitivity for you to see or hear in the spirit. So for you to see a clear and detailed vision in the spirit, you must be ready to unlock your spiritual sensitivity. You must be ready to ascend into the spiritual realm, so that you can be able to see in the spirit and receive each details of your vision. Seeing in the spirit require you for you to engage in spiritual exercise. Like, you need to raise your spiritual sensitivity so that you can be able to tune into the area of the spirit and receive from the Lord. There are things that eventually activate so many persons' spiritual sensitivity for them to be able to ascend into the spirit and receive from God. There are some persons, worship stir them up and activate their spiritual sensitivity for them to connect with heaven and receive information from heaven. While there are some person, it is prayer, while other person, it is meditation. These things I've made mention of now work for everybody, but out of all these things, there is one particular one that boosts your spiritual sensitivity easily when you want to connect with heaven or have a connectivity with God. You must understand things that activate your spiritual sensitivity. There are some persons, when they engage in intense prayer, they begin to feel the presence of God. Their spiritual sensitivity is open. While some persons is worship, while some persons is meditation. There are doors, there are channels that open the pathway for them to enter into the realm of the spirit, to receive from God. This thing open their spiritual sensitivity also for them to enter into the spirit realm, or open their spiritual sensitivity for them to receive from God. So you must understand it. Now, one of it that is very powerful and very essential for you to receive a detailed vision, or for you to hear the voice of God clearly, is prayer. Yes, prayer. Prayer is one of the key that help us to communicate with God and fellowship with God. Prayer also help us to ascend to heaven to receive from God. At this moment, while you are praying, you are talking to God and you are expecting God to talk back to you. So if you engage in prayer, prayer can help you to open your spiritual sensitivity and connect you between you and God for you to receive from God. Now listen, in Luke 22 from verse 24, when Jesus was about to go to the cross to die for you and I sin, the Bible said Jesus was worried in his heart. He was worried in his heart in the sense that he saw the agony, the pain, the tribulation that he will go through for him to perform that task or that sacrifice for you and I. The Bible said Jesus was worried in his heart. Why he was worried in his heart, he said to himself, he said, is it possible for this thing or for this cup to just pass me by? Is it possible for me not to just go to the cross and die for humanity again? So Jesus was worried in his heart, and while he was worried, he intended to know some certain things, to hear what God will say regarding that matter at that particular time that he was worried, that if there is any other possibility for him not to die for humans. So Jesus was about to hear from God or see in the spirit what God will say. The Bible said for Jesus to know what God will say regarding that matter, the Bible said Jesus prayed. Are we together now? He prayed to seek the face of God regarding that matter. And when Jesus prayed, definitely he received each details concerning that matter. Are we together now? When he prayed earnestly so much that his sweat was not thick as blood. It means that fervent prayer, persistent prayer, consistent prayer can open your spiritual sensitivity or your spiritual eyes or spiritual ears for you to receive detailed vision or hear the voice of God in the spirit. Are we together now? In James 5, the Bible said, it said the fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. It means that when you pray with a sincere heart, that God should reveal to you or open your spiritual eyes concerning a particular matter or an issue. If you continue to pray and you are consistent in it and you are persistent, making inquiry for God to open your eyes regarding that matter, I tell you the truth, your spiritual eyes will be open to receive a vision from the Lord or to hear from God regarding that matter. Are we together now? There are sometimes when you pray once, you may not receive a vision because the prayer that you need to open your spiritual sensitivity or connect with God so that you receive that vision from God or hear from God, that prayer, you are not getting to that stage of that prayer or that realm of that prayer to open that borders for you. That is the essence. James said, he said the fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. It means that a righteous man who persists in the place of prayer, answers will not be denied from him. Are we together now? So if you pay attention to continually pray and make a request and ask God to reveal to you concerning that situation, concerning that matter, I tell you the truth, the Lord will open your eyes and definitely speak to you and minister to you regarding that matter. The essence many persons don't receive vision or they don't hear the voice of God is that they give up quickly when they pray. They give up quickly when they continue to ask God. They stop and say God don't want to speak to them. God don't want to minister to them. God don't want to reveal to them. Maybe God is silent. No, God is not silent. God is ever ready to reveal his vision or to open your eyes for you to know what he's saying or his thoughts concerning that matter. That is the essence. God need to reveal to you and God need to speak to you. So God desire to always speak to us and reveal things to us because he knows that when he don't reveal to us or speak to us, there are several mistakes that we make and several errors that we run into. So when you ask God, God is ever ready to reveal to you. But there are sometimes the spiritual realm is so crafted that there are dimensions and there are realms in it, and it needs some higher realm of prayer fellowship for you to break some borders, for you to get that thing from God or receive from God. Are we together now? That is the essence. You need to pray fervently. Look at Jesus. The Bible said he prayed earnestly, fervently, that his sweat was not thick as blood before he received that answer from God or received that vision. Are we together now? He prayed. So for him to enter into that realm to see what God will say concerning that matter, he was not just dealing with himself alone or dealing with the heavenly bodies. There were some forces that were trying to clad for that atmosphere for him not to see in the realm of the spirit, so that he will be discouraged and disobey God. Are we together now? There are some forces that can close that atmosphere for you not to see. Not that your spiritual eyes, God has not anointed it, God has not anointed your ear for you not to see or hear from him. But there are some spirit that can close that realm so that you will make mistake, you will not see it. That is the essence. You need to persist in the place of prayer. You need to be fervent in the place of prayer, because your fervency can open that realm for you to receive that clear visions and hear the voice of God clearly. There might be veils and borders that the enemy are using to close that realm for you not to see it. Now let me take you to Daniel 8. The Bible said in Daniel 8 that Daniel eventually dreamt a dream. He saw a vision of ram and goat. While Daniel saw that vision of ram and goat, Daniel did not understand that vision at all. And Daniel was worried about that vision. That vision remained in the heart of Daniel, and Daniel was pondering about it. The more he tried to forget it, the more the vision keep appearing, or the dream keep appearing within him. So Daniel took concern about that vision, that he took books and he began to read, he began to study many things to see related vision concerning that vision that he saw. And Daniel understood some certain things regarding that vision. He understood that the years that the Israelites need to suffer in the hands of the Babylonians is over. So Daniel was worried. How come they are still under the hands of the Babylonians? How come they are still under the hands of the Persians? So Daniel did not still receive the clear details of that vision. Are we together now? So he was still bothered that the answers to that eviction was not settled down within him. The answer he got, he did not settle down within him. Why? Because there were forces that closed that realm. There were forces that cover that realm for them not to know the truth, for them not to receive the accurate vision concerning that matter, so that they will remain slave and they will not call upon God for their deliverance and their healing. Are we together now? There were forces of darkness that hold it back. So Daniel engaged in prayer in chapter 9 of Daniel. Daniel chapter 9 from verse 1. Daniel engaged in prayer. He began to pray. He began to seek the face of God for God to reveal to him concerning that vision. Are we together now? For God to give him each details concerning that vision. He engaged in fervent prayer. He prayed first day, he prayed second day, nothing. So he was expecting, yet nothing happened. Whereas God had already answered the prayers of Daniel, God has already sent an angel to come and interpret that vision and give each details of that vision to Daniel and explain it to Daniel. But there was a force of darkness that hold that angel back for that angel not to reveal that revelation unto Daniel and give each details of that vision unto Daniel. Why? Because those forces want to cover that reign so that the children of Israel should continue to remain as a slave, as a servant unto them. That is the essence. They are forces of darkness that are closing atmosphere, that are closing realms for you not to receive some visions, for you not to hear that voice of God. Know that God is not speaking. So they are blocking it. So until you engage in fervent prayer, you can't remove those blocks. You can't remove those agents. So Daniel engaged in fervent prayer. He continued praying day and night, knocking, as Matthew 7:7 said. He said, ask and it shall be given, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall open unto you. Daniel asked, Daniel seek, and he continued knocking. He knocked and knocked and knocked, that he got to God. And God said, I've answered the prayer of Daniel, that I've sent an angel to him to give him the each details of the revelation of the visions that he needed. Why is Daniel still keep disturbing me? You see that the fervent prayer of Daniel opened the channels of the vision for him to receive detailed vision, and for him to see that clear vision, and for him to receive from God. So God had to send angel Michael, for angel Michael to deliver that message to Daniel. While angel Michael was coming, he saw that angel was old bound, and he fought the evil spirit and rebuked the evil spirit and sent the angel to Daniel. So there are so many forces that are blocking things. There are so many forces that are making your eyes to be blown in the realm of the spirit for you not to see. Not that the Holy Spirit don't want to minister to you, not that God don't want to speak to you, but because your secret place or your fellowship with the Holy Spirit or your place of prayer is not intensified enough to break those veils, to break those things that are hindering those areas for you not to receive those clear vision and hear the voice of God clearly. So I tell you, if you know how to engage in prayer, I mean fervent prayer, and seek the face of God daily, or know the area that help you to raise your spiritual sensitivity easily, then you will definitely receive a vision from God and hear God's voice as you make a request. What about Joshua? Joshua, who encountered an accursed situation. An accursed situation means another person in a society have to trespass what God said they should not take, have to take it. Then the whole city will not partake of the sin of that person. The whole city will be suffering from the sin of that person. That was the situation that Joshua encountered. That Achan took what God told Joshua that the children of Israel should not take from the hands of the Philistine, from the hands of the Amalekites. So God told them not to take it, but Achan took it and he buried it somewhere. And the children of Israel were now suffering from that sin of Achan trespass. So what did Joshua do to receive each details of that vision of what Achan did? Was that Joshua engaged in prayer of meditation. The Bible said Joshua lay down and he began to pray, seek the face of God, quiet his mind, and he was just there praying within his spirit for God to speak to him. And definitely God spoke to him and gave him each details of that vision, and everything was so clear. Achan, everything, and God explained to him how he will catch the person, and he did it, and he caught the person. I tell you the truth, if you engage in fervent prayer and engage also in the spiritual exercise that activates your spiritual senses easily for you to ascend into heaven, you will receive each details of that vision from the Lord, and you will hear the voice of God clearly. Practice, engage in fervent prayer. Pray, don't give up. If you are asking God for anything, if you are telling God to speak to you, don't give up. God will definitely speak to you, because the fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So this is where I will stop today. If you are blessed by this video, please like this video and follow this page if you want more content like this. Thank you and God bless you. See you on my next teaching.